Welcome back, Wicketers. Welcome back to the Wicket Watchers podcast. It's me, your co-host, or today's host, Saran. And this week has been too hectic, guys. It has been hectic. We've tried to record this multiple times, but unfortunately, we're gonna have a solo podcast for a change. Now, in terms of the cricket, there is quite a lot to talk about, including today's events as well. Like, for example, in today's episode, it's going to be a bit of a shorter one, as it usually is with a solo podcast. I'm going to be talking briefly about the 100, very briefly, but then it's mainly going to be about Pakistan cricket again. So, we're going to start off with the 100. As always, if you enjoy what you're seeing, then make sure to give us a subscribe and like. But we start off with the 100. It has picked up its paces, hasn't it? The group has been thrown wide open. It's been absolute carnage, even. A couple matches I want to talk about. The Oval Invincibles match. I was the one who covered the review for that one. I haven't covered the review for the other two. That's later on the list for today. But Jordan Cox had an outstanding match. 85 off around 20-ish balls. 26, I think, off the top of my head. Either that or it was a little bit more, but that is incredible. It was incredible to watch. And it really shows why Jordan Cox had been selected for England, because he not only is a very good middle order batsman, but he's also a good wicketkeeper as well. So that's why England had included him. Now, if it hadn't been for his injuries, then perhaps he would have been a capped English international by now, but obviously injuries happen, not much you can do about it. But very, very happy to see that. And Tom Curran, he got 4 wickets in that match as well. If you've watched the podcast, you know that Ollie has a bit of a love-hate not love-hate, very much hate relationship with Tom Curran. I'm exhausted today. But Tom Curran, not many people like him. And it's what he said to Liam Livingstone, fat slob. That's kind of just stuck in my mind now. So the 4-4 that he got against Welsh Fire, that really didn't mean much in my eyes. Tom Curran his international career has been long finished, and I don't think anything he does can get him back into the side. And that's the same for Sam Curran, in my opinion, as well. Both of the Currans, their international future is over. But it's the first time that we've seen 200 this season, and I imagine it won't be the last, because unlike last season, this season has gone off to a banger start. It's at the very, very start, it was quite slow, but it's picked up pace, and there are a lot more thrillers. And that more or less comes from, I want to say it's because of the ball changes. Like, instead of the 100 branded balls, they now have the other ones. But then half, I want to talk about the fact that they've brought in the T20 blast balls that they used to make. They've brought those back into the 100. And I think it was a good move. The scores have been higher, then bowlers are more satisfied. There's a much more even battle between bat and ball. Of course, unlike between Oval and Welsh Fire, there is a lot more, there's a lot more battle between them. Now, I know we talked about the standout performers, all the predicted standout performers. I want to talk about the standout performers, in my opinion, from the 100 so far. So, Liam Livingstone, we all know how amazing he is in the 100. The first season, he was the MVP, and he led Phoenix to the final. This season, the captaincy hasn't been on point, because Phoenix are in a less than ideal situation, and we may need to update our predictions on that one. They swapped places with Welsh Fire or Trent Rockets. But Liam Livingstone has had an amazing season so far. He's shown so many times that he is a viable number 4 batsman. In that middle order, he is incredible. And he can also chip in with his part-time spin. It's usually leg spin to the right-handers, off spin to the left-handers, and it's decent. It's not horrible. It's decent. Even in today's spell against the London Spirit, he got 1 off 23 in his 20 balls. That's decent, especially for a part-time spinner. That is good, especially considering the other spinners the Phoenix have in their lineup. Dan Mosley, Benny Howell. They have a very good spin lineup, and it's why their home stadium of, I think it's Edgbaston. I don't call me out on that. I don't know if that it might be Edgbaston, it might not be, but it's in Birmingham somewhere. And that's usually a high scoring ground. So probably the only Achilles heel to having a spin heavy bowling lineup. If you were Welsh Fire, that's fine. Sophia Gardens, it's good for the spinners. Very slow surface. But I think there aren't too many pitches in England where the spinners are more in favour. This ain't Pakistan. So we have Liam Livingstone as our all-rounder, sort of. So best bowler so far. This is interesting, isn't it? It'll be an interesting one, because there are so many we can pick from. We could talk about Rashid Khan, how he's risen back up from the depths that was the IPL this year. He has more than proved his worth for his bowling. He's shown that he is back, and he's here to stay. We could also talk about David Willey. He has actually been a surprising cog in the Trent Rockets bowling attack. The way that he manages to pick up wickets in that power play, it is decent. Maybe not a standout performer in many people's eyes, but definitely decent. Not a wrong decision. And we could also talk about Trent Boult, the first over maestro himself. He had a shaky start, but he is well and truly back into the cricketing fold. Allow me to take a quick sip. Getting the hydration on. Anyway, but the bowler I want to talk about, Scott Curry. Yep. Brad Curry's brother. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows Brad Curry from that viral YouTube short where he took the supposed best catch of all time. But his brother Scott has been doing really well in the 100 so far, for the Manchester Originals especially, which is why I'm surprised in today's match against Manchester Originals versus Northern Superchargers, the Roses derby. I'm surprised that he got taken down as consistently as he did, but even before that performance, he was really good. He was an outstanding player for Manchester Originals, and it's a real shame that they have been down under. I want to briefly, and I mean briefly, talk about the team standings. I'll get them up in a sec, so bear with. But our predictions have been, some of them have been on point, and some of them they've been wrong. I mean, that's fair enough, they are only predictions, but if my thing would like to load, can only apologise. Here we are. Right, so it's not loading. Oh my days. It's a good thing about the internet. Anyway, I'm gonna have to rely on memory here because I think my whole software is just exploding. I'm pretty sure last was Manchester Originals. Oh wait, no, it's Birmingham Phoenix now. Phoenix are last. I mean, that's very interesting. So Birmingham Phoenix, what has gone wrong for them this year? And I could give you many answers. I could say it's been the opening partnership. It hasn't been as decent as it perhaps should have been. Ben Duckett and Will Smead, two batters which on paper have been outstanding. They look outstanding, But as an opening partnership, they haven't really achieved much. As a partnership. Like, sometimes Will Smead goes and makes a score, and Ben Duckett goes to make a score. But Ben Duckett has had an abysmal 100 so far. Apart from, I think it was his last innings that he did well, but apart from that, he has had a horrendous start to the 100. And this directly conflicted the statement I said in the predictions, because I thought when he went to Birmingham Phoenix, he was completely rejuvenated. But I look at him now, and I'm saying, this is another Welsh Fire situation all over again. He looks completely drained. Ollie claims that he's the best batsman, all-format batter in the world now. And this is why I disagree. Because to be a good all-format batter, you have to be on the levels of someone like a Virat Kohli. Or you have to be on the levels of someone like not Joss Butler. Who else? It'll come. It'll come. Like David Warner or Steve Smith. And for me, Ben Duckett isn't at that level just yet. Maybe he will become. Maybe he will prove me wrong. But I still think Virat Kohli, right now currently, although he's not playing all three formats, he was the best all-format batter in the game. I couldn't tell you who I would personally give right now because I've got way too much to cover and too little time, but that'll be an argument for the next podcast. So, Welsh Fire, we all know the story about Welsh Fire. They might have a bit of Welsh this year, but they don't have much fire. They have been comprehensively beaten in their 3 games. It might have been close, might have not been, but still. It has not been good from the Welshmen. And I think that comes down a lot to the batting. Johnny Bairstow carries that batting lineup. And the bowling, it's pretty decent. It's not too bad. Apart from Riley Meredith, the other bowlers don't really complement him. It's really about single performances. There has been no team performance for the Welsh Fire. So that's my thoughts on them. London Spirit. It's been a bit of a middling season for them, hasn't it? David Warner. The biggest thing that was in that failed podcast that we tried to film the other day, Ollie mentioned how the opening partnership between David Warner and Kane Williamson was way too slow. It was too slow, especially for the 100, in a fast-moving format where every ball counts, a bit cliche, but if you keep playing singles and dots, that doesn't help. Because the issue is, this isn't like a test match. This isn't a test match where you're batting against Jasprit Bumrah, then you have Mohammad Siraj at the other end. Because in this format, you're facing against quality bowlers. Maybe not on the level of Jasprit Bumrah, but still, they're middling at best. At a minimum, they're middling. Apart from Ajit Singh Dale getting absolutely blasted for 43 in his 15 balls. Oh my days. I'm joking, but the point is that you're up against really good international caliber bowlers. And David Warner and Kane Williamson, they're amazing batters in their own right. Kane Williamson, you could argue, would be one of the best all-format batters in the world currently. But the issue stems from the fact that Kane Williamson has always been an accumulator. And that is fine. You can have an anchor at the top of the order. That is fine. The issue comes when your aggressive batter, David Warner, acts as an anchor as well. And with especially the batting lineup that London Spirit has, Ollie Pope in there, then David Warner, Kane Williamson, Jamie Smith. Jamie Smith and David Warner, they are absolutely fine. And I'm glad that they did this in the last match against Trent Rockets. In today's match, Jamie Smith got out for a duck, so haha. But Jamie Smith is an attacking batsman. He joined David Warner because they wanted more of an attacking combination. Kane Williamson wasn't getting the job done. And that's where it all stems from. The fact that if you have an anchor in the 100, it's fine as long as they get a move on later. I mean, we saw how amazing that worked for Trent Rockets Season 2. In Season 2, we saw Dawid Malan. He was an anchor, and that really worked out, especially when we had Alex Hales come in at 1. Then what would happen was, if Alex Hales got out, we got a right-hander up in there. If David Milan went out, then we would get Colin Monroe up in there. And that's where Trent Rockets utilised that strategy perfectly in Season 2. London Spirit, this is a work in progress. It has not helped. And I'm glad that they finally decided to push Jamie Smith up to open. That could be a massive move. Especially where they're at now. They're at 6. They're very even. 2 wins and 2 losses. If they can kick it into the 8th gear, then I'm pretty sure that they will be looking good. Manchester Originals I've already spoken about. The overseas batters have not turned up this season. Actually today, Heinrich Clausen scored a 50 off 25 balls, so very happy about that. Rachin Ravindra also got a couple of wickets, so they are showing signs of life. Southern Brave, I'm very much surprised by how the Brave are performing. They also have 2 wins off 2, but I genuinely think their bowling lineup would have been more formidable. But I feel like it's because Chris Jordan is not the bowler he used to be. Craig Overton has actually been one of their better bowlers. Tamal Mills, he hasn't been as good as he should have been. And they can only play Jofra Archer so many times before he breaks down again. And I'd say one of their better bowlers has been Coles. I don't know his first name, otherwise I'd say it, but Coles has been really good. He's been economical. He's been the ideal Dawson replacement. And by the way, Dawson did do decently for London Spirit, but sort of forgot to mention. Northern Superchargers, they've had a good season this time. They've been doing very good. Harry Brook has come, and he's come really good this year. And then all of Zach Crawley as well. And I'm going to mention this story for like the 3rd time this week, but we were going to make a short on Zach Crawley. How in the predictions we said that he is not a 100 batter. Ollie told me the very same day that nope, we're not posting it. Because he did that decently, so that changed his mind. And there's not really much for me to say about Northern Superchargers. They've done really well. It's been really good. Harry Brook's done decently, the captaincy's been on point, bowling has been decent as well, and then the middle order, I'd say that only concern would be their openers. That's literally the only thing. Apart from Zach Crawley, who else do you open with? And if so, they haven't been as decent as they perhaps should have been. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I just haven't been keeping as much with the 100 as I probably should have been. So, my fault, not yours. Trent Rockets and Oval Invincibles, they are both on 3 wins and 1 loss. And I'm going to take a swig once more. Ollie had Trent Rockets ranked at 8 in our little prediction, but they're at 2nd. They have proved him well wrong. I think that stems a lot, not only from the bowling lineup, but from the batting. The batting has been incredible this season. Tom Banton and Joe Root opening. I didn't think Joe Root would be opening this early, but I was wrong. And he was good at opening, and it's really been the domestic batsmen that have come this year. Tom Moores did really good in the last game against... Who was it? I've forgotten the name. I forgot who Trent Rockets faced last time. But Tom Moores did really well. And he is a Nottinghamshire player. I feel like that's been a strong suit of the Trent Rockets. They've chosen homegrown talent. And they've more or less relied on Nottinghamshire. Basically the exact opposite of what Welsh Fire have done with Glamorgan. It's very confusing, but I feel like that's a lot. That is something that the best teams in the 100 have done. They have utilised the homegrown talent. Like, biggest examples I can make. Southern Brave and James Vince. Northern Superchargers, Harry Brook from Yorkshire. And then James Vince from Hampshire. Then Manchester Originals, Phil Salt and Joss Butler, who both play for Lancashire Lightning. And then Welsh Fire, it's just been a case of they haven't had that homegrown talent they perhaps should have been. And another big example, Oval Invincibles, Tom Curran and Sam Billings. I could be wrong with that one. I think I'm wrong with that one. But the point still stands. They rely on the homegrown proven talent that has come through the system. And it's really been a staple for these strong teams. Talking about a strong team, Oval Invincibles. Rashid Khan has been the final piece in the puzzle that's been missing for them, in my opinion. Because last season, Adam Zampa did really well, but then you have Rashid Khan, who's an upgrade, even better. Kind of what Ollie touched on about quality. What? That. Oh, I'm not cut out for this. It's like what Ollie touched on for the prediction video. He's been a He hasn't had a good IPL, but he is back in the 100 and he has performed. And he is here to stay. Right, we now move on to Pakistan cricket. You're gonna hear this rant again. So, we lost against West Indies 2-1 in the West Indies, and we got bowled out for 92. Not really much I can say there, apart from it's been an abysmal series in all honesty. The fact that Pakistan, we haven't been able... Our attacking strategy has not been proving dividends because we are persisting with the same mistakes that we have tried to avoid. Well, what do I mean by that? Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. I used to be the biggest supporter for these two. I used to support Rizbar. But now I can say, hands up, that they need to be replaced. And replaced they have been done. Because when I woke up, I don't think it was that early, but the Pakistan Asia Cup squad and the Tri-Series squad got announced. We're going to be... I won't be covering that immediately. I'll probably be covering it before the Asia Cup or the Tri-Series, but it's a good squad. And what's made it even better, Babar and Rizwan are not in the squad. That has not only helped, but it means we can get more attacking options in there. Now, a couple of omissions I would like to point out. Nazim Shah. Unfortunately, guys, due to some unseen circumstance, I'm going to have to end the podcast there. But definitely next time, we will cover the main Pakistan squad. Basically, what I want to say about Pakistan cricket is not in the best spot. There's lots to say about it, but unfortunately, that's all the time I've got. Have a good one, Wicketers. Make sure to like and subscribe, share, and like.